What does any one man need with 3 Atari STs? I have no answer to that. Hey guys, Retro Tech Ralph here. Got a repair video for you. This is a soldering iron. Okay, this is my soldering iron. This needs repairing. No, sorry, replacing my soldering iron. Changes the temperature around about 350, 360. Tip on the end. This is plugged in but not switched on. If you're really well versed in using a soldering iron, maybe you don't need to watch this video. If you've no idea how to replace Atari ST capacitors, then you may want to carry on watching. The other second thing to use is a desoldering gun. This is an absolute godsend. This was the first thing I bought when I started getting monetized on YouTube. Absolute godsend. Heats up with the end and it sucks out the solder, keeps it in this chamber here. Done, sorted. So, as I said, this is an Atari ST repair. So basically, here is my third Atari ST, the ST 520 FM. Granted, what does any one man need with 3 Atari STs? I have no answer to that. So, how to get to the power supply, which is behind here. Because you can see, there's the power socket, there's a switch. Fine, happy, happy. Turn it round. Let's turn it normal way around so it's facing me. Right. With this being mine, I'm not actually keeping this screw together, but you need to undo that screw, that screw, that screw, that screw, that screw, that screw, and that screw. So there's 4 on the top and then 3 on the bottom here. You don't really need to take these 3 out because these hold the disk drive in. These are not the right colour screws. I got this as part of a kit with, there's parts available that I've redone. So undo those 4, these 3, turn it back round, and then probably about the left hand side, usually when the drive is sticking out of this corner anyway, up and just whittle it a little bit to get inside. Lovely. Then for here, I would probably recommend taking the keyboard out, which is just lift it up, whittle this connector out so it comes out, gets it out of the way. Then we go to the power supply. You want to change anything else, you've got this shield going down towards the motherboard underneath. You've got this nice, occasionally have these shields here to cover the back of the disk drive there. So power supply is behind here. You need a potty dry screwdriver, 2 thinly threaded screws there and there. You then need a pair of pliers, probably better. Shorten those pliers to get that and make sure that's flat against the metalwork. With a slot, it's basically a little tab which holds in, pull, then pull out. As simple as that. And there's your power supply. Now, the thing with this is a DSP power supply 508A. I've had a friend of mine who was a patron, Andrew, Slydive, Annie Johnston. Yes, he does occasionally ask me to do things for him, which is fine. I don't mind. He's a good friend. And if you want something done yourself too, give me a shout. We can see what we can do. Right, the Atari ST power supplies, there are a few different ones, okay? The best place to go for, because we're going to recap this power supply, which is over here. I've already recapped this one. There's them caps to be done. I redid this because I had to put a new switch on there because that didn't work, and then I've sealed everything in with hot glue, hot snot, what are we going to call it. It's simple enough, done. Now this is not the same power supply as that. For one, the fuse is over here instead of there. This is what they call a Matsumi. I think it's the, I forgot what model number it is, should have said it on here somewhere, but it's virtually the same. Large cap, another large cap there, the coil there, another one there, caps over here for regulating the power down to what the Atari ST goes to. And then the fuse over here, because the main power cable goes into here, actually goes to the switch and then out over to here. So it's simple enough to actually do. So here is, right, I need to move the Atari out of the way so that you've got a side-by-side comparison. There are different ones. There's a reason why we're recapping this one. Some things don't need recapping. However, if you look at this, that is doming. It feels like it's full of gas and could pop at any moment. But this was a very big capacitor. This is very high voltage. We will go up to 400. Yeah, it's a pain in the arse, but hey ho. These have also expanded as well because there's no plastic on the sides of those as well. So these all want replacing no matter what. There's also other sort of things to do anyway. So I'll go through that with you now in what you need to do. Now, off we go. Start with, I'm going to get you zoomed in. Power supply. I have already taken out 4 screws that hold the circuit board in place. These ones here. Nice gold. You can't miss them. There are 4 of them with a washer on. 4 corners. They're there. This will release this from the board, but it won't release it from the switches. So what you need to do is undo 2 flat screws there. Quite simple. Those hold on the power supply mains power cable, which that can now be released and a little bit freer. The earth, which is up here, has a screw with a washer and one of these funky washers as well, holding the whole thing in place. So I'll keep that to one side, which just leaves a single one with a loop to be threaded through later. And then 2 that hold the switch on. They're all exactly this, well, they're all different screws. They're a lot smaller for the switch with another spring washer on there. Get that one out again. But this is just to strip this down to actually get to solder this. You probably could quite difficultly hold this up like that and then solder and off you go. Easy. But now with that out of place, that out of the way, that is, apart from now, I have cable tie holding the cables in. Done. That will now come off of there. I can put another cable tie in if I want, if I can be bothered, and I don't think I will because I don't think it's needed just yet. So there's your base plate, all metal, nice. That is going to be shocking everything if there wasn't a piece of plastic there. So if this ever cracks, make sure you put something sufficient underneath it. It's been glued in place. The one on mine wasn't glued in place, which is a bit weird, but that's fine. Model SR98, which is this model. I've got Exos's website in front of me. There are quite a few replacement power supplies. This one being the SR98, the Matsui. There's also one for the Falcon they do. There's the Fihong, oh, I can't even pronounce that one. Whatever that is, one it does parts for. The one I got in the Atari ST, which is now behind me, is actually the DSP 508A. So that is, it does have similar parts to it. You can also go straight for, if you wanted to, a replacement power supply, which they do for £60. I'm not advertising Exos, he's alright for parts and whatever else. It's a little bit expensive for me, I think, when all you need to do is replace these caps. Now these came in, right, here we go. We have 2, or we may have 3. 4700 ultrafarad 16 volts. I think it does uprate these quite a lot as well. There's another one anyway, 4700. 2 of these other ones, 1500 by 16 volts. And again there. We also have this big bad boy, which will replace that one there. Very short, stumpy legs on there. Make sure you put it the right way. Always with capacitors, they have to go a certain way around. There's a plus, there is a minus. Make sure you put it the right way around, which on this one, you can see the minuses there. It's got the lines down there. This will fit in like that, where this goes. Trust me. There's also this curious little fella, which is also called it's just trying to find the bridge rectifier. There you go. It's for any of you guys trying to find the bridge rectifier on here, it's actually there, right there. So that isn't exactly the same. However, what you need to do is bend the legs on this so they will fit in the holes there, and this will kind of look awkward, but once the case is on top of it, this is a better alternative to that. It's good to change these things if they don't, well, if they do work, then fine. There's also a voltage regulator there, which will go in underneath there, underneath the shrink. Let me show you. There's a bit of shrink wrapping tube in there, and this is a spring clip holding that in place. So that needs to come off. Just a little bit of, well, it looks like shrink wrap tubing, but it's not. That's going to need that's actually been stuck in place where it is. I think the heat from the actual regulator has kind of melted the rubber tubing a little bit. There we go. So that should come off, all being well. I want to reuse that as well anyway, so I'll leave it a second. There's also two resistors as well that come with this. I don't know exactly where these go to, however, I'm actually looking at this, and there's, what have we got? We've got two big ones, three big ones there, with 1, 2, 3, two big ones there, well, them two, yeah, big over here, right, so that's fine. That will replace over here, that will replace over here. I don't know where the resistors go. I'll have to look on the instructions for this. He does supply full instructions on the website. So what I need to do is not put them wrong around. These need to be, there's an alarm going off in the background, not mine, need to desolder. Simple as. There's a lot of things I need to desolder. I'm going to do these one at a time because I don't want to get confused with it. I'll probably desolder these three first, put these three in the place. Yes, these three. Take that one out. That is, it's worrying me how domed that is, but it's gas behind it. Replace that one in place there. Actually, before I replace that one, because that one's an easy one to figure out anyway, these three will be done, then these two, then that will come out, and I will do that as it is, and then this will fit in place afterwards. Before I solder this in and this in, that's got to be in the right spot. Then we'll look at the regulator and the resistors. So give me a few minutes. I'll get this desoldered, resoldered, and start to repair. Just stop there. I've took out the larger three caps, the massive cap, and the bridge rectifier. I've not took out these two ones yet, the medium sized ones, because I just don't want to get confused. You shouldn't get confused anyway, because on the board you've got large holes, smaller holes, so I can easily take them out anyway. Actually, I'll do that now while I've got this thing switched on. It's not, yeah, it's the holes in there. I thought I was panicking for no reason. So with the desolder gun, it's quite easy. Go on there. Heats up. When it's molten, suck out everything. Nice clean hole. Double entendres are going to be everywhere, and that will just drop out, leaving two very easy holes, so I can re-put the next one in. That's actually quite loose, the coil there. Let's be careful with it. Done. Done. Can whittle around, make sure it's got everything. If it's not done properly, it's not melted. That one's been a little bit of a pain. Okay, that's just to the bridge rectifier, that's fine. Now we've got all them out. Like I said, there's smaller ones on the board there, larger ones, and this silly massive one on the other side. Now, I've not taken out this voltage regulator, which I think is that one. However, there's one over here as well, so I don't know which one that is. So obviously Exos' idea is to replace one and not both. If it's a D202, then fine. If it's a Q101, then so be it. So I've got part numbers. Oh, and I can't see. EC155? Nope, no idea. These coils here are really worrying me, actually. Okay, let's straighten that back up. There's two pins going in. One's over here, and one's at the bottom of here. There's a kind of piece of solder there. Better. I'll lose that. All I need to do is resolder everything back in place, put in the right way, negatives over that side. This says positive on the board there. So that will just slot in, done, happy, solder, solder. Really, really easy to do. But, can't get that out to see if that is the right one or not. That will move. Do with... There we go. So the one stuck in the heat wrap came off all right. This one, HRV34, so 7K 5 degrees. 750. Nope, I can't see any resemblance on either. It looks like it probably would be that one. If you look carefully on this other one over here, the middle leg needs to be bent forward. Instead of going straight into the board, it needs bending forward to fit into, and the other two are either side. However, this one here just goes straight in. I'm guessing it's this one here then, but I don't know. I need to look on the instructions. I will get back to you. There's no rush for that one just yet. I'm a clean under here. Right, you can see there's a bit of shining stuff. I think these caps, it's not too late. It takes a while for caps to completely destroy your system, but that one's nearly fine. These definitely aren't. So it was a good time to take them out. And while I'm zoomed in that close, let me get that one back up there a second. Here is the big one. Big one, Yellow Bird Shock, if it's been plugged in for a while. It looks like it's just domed anyway. I could do with puncturing that, but I'm not going to, because I ain't that stupid. But yes, nice little cap there anyway. However, the bigger ones. Now we knew this one here, you can tell because it's, the plastic is meant to be over top here. So this is overheated anyway. There's a second one here. Looks like it's starting to burn down here, so that's not too massively bad. However, can you tell a bit of a difference here? This one is definitely exploding. Yeah, that's not meant to be that. He's properly shrunk everything in and really overheated, and it's surprising how the tops haven't domed that much on these, which is quite strange, but it has overheated. That's why that's gotten that colour. Potentially leaked as well, I can see underneath here. So they want definitely throwing away as quickly as possible, as well as the two smaller ones. Yeah, they're definitely, that one's definitely the right hand one. You can tell because things are starting to leak. If this was left any longer, this could have been dangerous. If it had been plugged in. Luckily, Andy's left it to, I almost said the professionals, but left it to me to take the blame for this if it doesn't work. That's fine. So, let's have the bridge rectifiers there. It does look different to what that is, but I need to bend these pins to be in the shape for these holes. So, it's nice. Look at the size of it. This is why it's going to rectify the power a lot. I mean, this is just ridiculous. That's just little, it's not even button sized. That will replace that, no problem, and it will be done. So I need to get on with doing this. Cleaning the board, resoldering parts onto the board, bending this, and you'll see in a second, and I'll show you the difference between that going in there, because one leg splits out over there. Move things out of the way a little bit. And now this will go in. It will go in, trust me, because one pin will go in there, one pin will go in there, and these two, one will go back and one will go forward, whichever one it is. I think if I'm looking at it that way with the bit cut out, left one goes into here where the plus is, right one goes into the back, the number 2 goes forward and into this one here at the front. I know you can't see because you're too far away, and the third one gets bent backwards that way next to where the coil is, the transformer. So there, I'm ready. I'm going to desolder, I'm going to resolder those. I'm going to figure which one this one is, and let's get cleaning of this before we put things back in place. So far, so good. The caps, the main 5 are in. 2 small ones, 3 bigger ones, shall we say. Let's get you in a lot better, a lot closer. Now, the next one to go in is that one, although I'm going to leave that one for a second. Right, I have figured out what these extra 2 resistors are. It is on his instructions. If you read through Exos's instructions, it makes perfect sense, as well as the voltage regulator. Right, it does say that resistors 201, which was a 2.2k resistor, needs to be replaced. And there's a 2.7k resistor plus yeah, why did it replace with? Right, okay. The resistor that's in there is 2.7 plus 2.2, which doesn't make any sense. Oh, that's where the red crib. Right, this is what I don't understand about resistors, the color coding, and yada yada. The 201. Now, let me point out exactly where it is with the tweezers. R201 is right in there. Let me get you in a lot closer. 201, you can see it's upside down. 201's there, and 202 needs to replace. 201 needs to be replaced by the 1K resistor that comes with it. The 202 needs replacing with the 1.2. So I just need to figure out which one this one is. I'm sure there's somebody out there going, yeah, it's a 1.1. Yeah, I will figure this out, trust me. I'll put the right one in the right place. Also, this, I thought it was for over here. That's how the heat shrink tubing. This is kind of this way around, where the plug socket and the switch are upwards. I thought it was for this one here. Apparently that is perfectly fine. Absolutely tickety-boo. It's this one over here. The diode, is it 202? Yes. Apparently, the diode update on this one is, well, it puts on there, it makes quite a bit of noise. So replacing this with the newer version makes it a lot more quieter. So what I'll do is desolder those 3 pit legs underneath there, slip it straight down, so I haven't got to bend this one, so I'm not replacing that. So it's just a straight in. So I need to replace this. 2 resistors over here. It does actually state that you need to adjust this. So once this is in place, plugged in inside the Atari ST, I'll put this in my Atari ST, which is behind me. I will plug this in, and I will put the voltage regulator, well, the voltmeter on the 5 volt and the ground, which should be anywhere anyway. And I will adjust this so it's 5 volts. So it's exactly 5 volts. Apparently it could change a little bit by doing these anyway. So I'll put the trimmer pot put it back to 5 volts on the 5 volt rail, which is there. 12 volts shouldn't really need to be done. Don't really fully know why. There's also something else I'm going to do with this anyway. That plugs in right onto the board. I'm going to reflow the solder underneath here. So with any pulling or tugging, that will make that a little bit more strong for the next, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 years. It looks fine as it is, but it also looks a little bit like somebody's already done bits on there. Also, with the power coming in, there's the black and the white over here. I will be resoldering there, which looks again like somebody has already resoldered that. That one there, which is the black one, looks perfectly fine. I'll just reflow the solder, put some new solder on there, which should cure any problems that there aren't. It's a little bit warm down here, so I'm guessing these resistors on here are quite hot. But with the recapping, should calm that down a bit. I don't want to put that capacitor back in there yet until I've done the voltage regulator. It will kind of go this direction when it's done. So it needs to be done. He also recommends that these holes are 0.8 of a mil. They need to be drilling out to 1 mil. So I can carefully drill out some holes to put this in place. Again, one leg forward, one leg back, but we'll show that one anyway. It does say on here DC. If you can see a reflection, yeah, 4M AC plus minus. We'll put that in place. So that's the plan of what I'm doing. I might actually keep recording, so I've got all these stuff over here. I might get you out to maybe that look about right to you, about the height width, maybe, yeah, away from, yeah, let's do you from about, yeah, let's get you a little bit more. So I have to replace, and replace. Easy, it says. Yeah. Diode and resistors in place. I'm just showing you the two pieces now we need to do something with. Right, let's go back to resistors. It's quite simple. If you've got the resistors, they've got colour bandings on them. I'll show you these because it didn't go out of focus last time. R202 has a banding resistance of brown, black, red, gold, which if you look on Google, they have a, I just basically shouted out resistor codes and it came up with a nice little one which changes the your colours and what it shows you exactly what the resistance is. So brown, black, red, gold is a 1k ohms plus 5% resistor. So that is what Exos says wants to go in 102 or 1k. Right, if I change it so it's the one above it, which is brown, I thought it was black, but it's brown, red, red, gold. So there's not much difference. It comes out with a 1.2 ohms, 5%. It's either, so that goes in 201 right there. So these are the right ones. If you get these in your Exos kit and you don't know exactly which ones they are, these are the right way around to do this. And that's the trimming parts that I will do later on. Go over to the voltage regulator that's now in and clipped into place. No thermal paste needed, just needs to be held flush to the heatsink. Everything's fine. The caps are in. I have reflowed the solder underneath all of these, including the blue one and including the power supply there and the black cable there. So these are a bit more flowed and should be a little bit more stronger. They're not going to move anywhere. The whole thing is static inside the ST anyway. It's just in case. I just like to do these sort of things. So now this little thing. Now I'm looking on Exos' site for how exactly it goes on. So it's got a picture of it that way around. Just looking at it from where my finger is aiming for. The triangle cut out, this is as basic as you can get. One goes in there and one, the far side goes into the back corner. Oh, you need to come in for this one again. Right. Like I said, I'm leaving the capacitor out for the time being. Right. With the corner took out, this one here needs to go on this far side, the minus, because it does actually show on there. Minus, minus, plus, plus, and this second pin, like I said before, needs to be bent into this hole here next to the D101. This is the same as what I did in the other one, and then the number 3 goes into the back here. It is the same, it needs to be bent out and it goes into shape there. It's not being interfered with the coil here, it's not being interfered with the capacitor over here. It's out of the way. It's just a little bit of manipulation and bending, which is easy enough to do, I suppose, but I said the holes actually, it should fit in okay. I don't see a problem with it not fitting in the holes. So I'm going to get, as long as I get the end of these in the holes, then I can manipulate round and do bits and bats anyway. So maybe something like that. And then the front goes a little bit like that. And then these need to come in a little bit. So let's have a look if that will fit. No, not exactly, because that peg 2 wants to come back a bit. Peg 1 wants to go out, peg 3 is miles out, but the minus is going in quite well. They're not far off where it is now, and I know you can't see, so give me a second, quick jump, and I'll get this done and show you the exact shape of what it's supposed to be. Right, this is kind of the shape you're looking for, shall we say. But I do think it's kind of, it's definitely better to get these holes drilled out a little bit. Nothing major, basically get a drill bit and put them in. If it's too big, get a smaller one and get a smaller one. One that will barely touches the edges. You're going from, these are probably about 0.8 of a mil to 1 mil. And if you go too much, you're going to get rid of the entire threads on the back. So probably recommend drilling it from the bottom upwards. Let me see about what I can do with the drill that I've got. I'm not going to use a power drill, that's ridiculous. But a little hand drill, maybe you can try and use the drill bit itself if you can get any leverage on it. So let's get these holes a little bit bigger. Although the case in that, if you wanted to, you could always sand these down a little bit, trim these down so they will fit. It's your choice. This is your regulator, after all. So give me a sec, I'll get this holes drilled out. Now let me show you what I'm doing. Right, there is the holes here. One there, one there, one there, and one here. Use a little one of these hobby drills if you like, with a 1 mil bit. That's as near as diameter for 1 mil for me. I've done these 3 already, as you can see, they're a little bit bigger. So just basically put this in, just be gentle. It'll start to cut away if you've got a sharp enough drill bit. It'll just cut away the metal on the top, the solder, and the crumbs bits coming off now are the board. Nice and steady, nothing major, it's through already. Done. So all 4 holes are now bigger than what they should be. See, the other side perfectly fine. Now I need to put this in the right way. I've unbent these anyway, I don't know. I need to bring it out a little bit, give you a better view. Right, so there. It's funny how we didn't do this on the other one. See, all 4 legs are through quite easily. If I want to pull this through further, I just need to push down a bit harder. Get the tweezers, the pliers, just to give it a little bit of help coming in. See, these middle ones are with it being bent anyway, it's kind of good to get it down a little bit. It is catching on the back, there it is, the back of that coil. There you go. So as long as it's not interfering with anything in particular, it should be fine. Now that ain't bad at all. Look at that, rare. They're not touching anything, they're just going across, down. There we go, that one's going straight in and down. I can go a little lower. I've got the scene from Animal House in my head. Sam the Sham and the... was it Sam the Sham? Not Sham Pharaohs, that's Bully. They're in the frat house and they're doing... twist. No. Shout. There you go. Twist. So I'm going to resolder all these in. I've got that pin there as well on a part of the coil underneath here. It's not moving anyway, but that needs to be soldered back in place. I'll hold this in place, get it soldered. This will be done. I'm also going to put the capacitor on there as well, because you can see if it's the right way around, yes, that will fit perfectly in there as well. So I can kill two birds, one stone. Don't fully condone killing animals, but you see that is now very nicely flush, fitted, happy. I can even go a little bit to that side so it's not touching, just to get my OCD perfect. There you go. I'm actually really happy with that. Soldering time. There we go. All soldering is now done and complete. All 4 pegs of the regulator are there. Is it regulator? Oh, damn it. Why? I can't remember these things. Yeah, bridge rectifier. And 2 from the capacitor. Make sure it's the right way around. They've got the blob there, which is the negative. So it is right. I did check this before I put this in, thinking anyway, that's fine. So that's in, no dome. That's in. Nicely positioned, Ralph. Really nicely positioned. I'm happy with that. So cap, 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 cap. Done, 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 done. Regulator, cables in place, all done. You're too far away. There you go. So it's all done and recapped for you. Now, Andy, everything seems fine. All I need to do now is put that on there. Where does this go? Does that go that way? That goes that way. Right, so the power... Come on, Ralph. My camera work is shocking a little. That needs to be in place over the top of the screws, which are there. Yes. Actually, that goes that way. Yes. And then this goes over the front. Done. Screwed. That doesn't. That goes behind. Right, so the switch goes behind. Power supply goes in front, because that's beveled onto it anyway, so that goes into there. Screws go in 1, 2, 3, 4. The earth bit goes with that screw. So easy, done. 2 minutes, I will have finished. There we go, fully put back together. Anybody who didn't comment or has commented in the about the about the shout record, it was Otis Day and the Nights. There you go. Figure out eventually. I hope somebody's commented before they actually said anything. That'd be good. So there we go. All sorted, all done, all happy. No doming, no nothing. Everything tickety-boo. Now I need to put this inside the ST that I've got. So we have parts over here. Everything going in. All the parts done. Need to be disposed of properly by putting them in the bin. And yeah, the size of that is absolutely ridiculous compared to, yeah, but they're gone. Again, side by side comparison with mine. Mine, I can tell with the hot glue, he's got shrink wrap on there. I could put a cable tie over there. It's kind of a little bit different. It's obviously a different manufacturer was put this in the different place. Not in the wrong place, because it's in the wrong place. But it's obviously different time, date, whatever, when they're being made. So I need to put this in. This definitely works. I'm fine with that, even though it's absolutely caked in. Looks like stuff, looks like the glue or whatever, but it's not. I think it's just flux that's been chucked around on everything. Right, I'm gonna put this in. Before I plug that cable into anything, I'll be checking the 5 volt line, which I can use the ground with these black cables, and I can use the red. So I can just basically put things into the back of here, to be honest. Red, red, black, 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 blue. So I can also check the 12 volts as well. But I need to plug this in, and to be honest, I don't have that many cables of these around, and to be honest, I am not leaving this bare on here to plug in. So I've had too many bad experiences with nearly trying to kill myself doing that. See, it's a lot more neater, Andy's one, than mine. Heck of a lot neater. Well done, Ralph. Well done. Right, so with being electrocuted, and yeah, it doesn't feel good. So let me get the ST out, set this thing up, and test whether or not we got 5 volts exactly from this. Okay, we have the voltmeter. We have it set onto DC, and my cables are twisted. I have this plugged in but not switched on. So what I'm going to do for... Why are my cables always twisted? Twisted like crazy. Is put the black on the earth, which is fine. That earths everything, and I'll be checking the 9 volts off the red. So all I'm basically doing is, if I can hold that somewhere else, to do there and there, and nope, and there and there, just touching red, which it... yeah, be doing that. So it's power on, this goes pop, I'm going to close my eyes. Right, the switch is on and the power is there. So this is now live, this is dangerous. So that's why I'm over here. So power, let's come off of there a second. Right, so power, microvolts. Why are these not doing... okay, let's touch it on there instead then. Let's get a better connection over here. Okay. That does not appear to be doing 5 volts. There we go, that's a better voltage. Alright, so we're in 4.89. Let me check the 12 volt without killing myself. .5. Okay, so as recommended, how the heck do I hold this? Right, so that is the pot. Let's turn that down to lower it goes. Talking with a screwdriver in his mouth. Right, so you there. So the other way. Too much? I really do need 3 hands on this. Pop it now on. Oh, no. That's close. That's too far. Damn. Don't think I did anything. 2 seconds. Let me find an easier way of doing this while using 2 hands, and then I cannot use the voltage regulator with the other hand. Easier way found. Okay. So I'm right-handed. Going up. Oh, come on! You can't get a better 5 volt than that. Cool. So let me see whether or not the other is 12. 12 volt is still running at 10.76. I have no regulator to move for that, so I have to leave that as is. I'm going to check that 12 volt again. That's never going to be the same again. Can't be. There and there. Oh, God, absolutely. Oh, you devil. Absolutely spot on. I'll edit that bit out. So bang on 5 volts, we have 5 volts. 12 volts, we don't. So that's not an issue. I'm not worried. So all I need to do now is turn that off before I kill anything, plug this in and test whether or not this ST works by finding more cables. Yeah. I mean, look at the power supplies are interchangeable. Let's actually just check whether or not this actually powers this thing up. I'm not 100% certain this works right. Oh, green light, yellow light. Yeah, that's working fine. Yellow light is accessing the drive, even though it's not. There's no disc in. I don't think that's the right disc anyway for this. But that appears to be working. Let me find a cable, see what I can do. 10 minutes later, a good test has been done. Everything seems to work. Gem desktop boots up perfectly fine. Everything's there. I've not got the mouse to tinker around with it, so it works absolutely spot on. It's giving the right voltages to the right places. A little bit worried about the 12 volt, but I think we can cope with that as is anyway. So yeah, I think, Andy, that's your power supply sorted. So all I need to do is turn that off, do the connection on there, done. I'm happy. So all I need to do now is take this power supply out of here, send it back to you, and I think we're sorted. It's a little bit tight on the board there. Not to do with Andy's case. It might be the metal tabs on there, maybe a little bit more bend out. But yeah, we're sorted. This is coming back to you, Andy. Done, happy, sorted. So it's not much of a faff to do all the mod on this. It's quite simple, to be honest. But it needed to be done. The parts on here, yeah, you definitely saw these anyway. That definite, and that's just it's leaking as we speak. So yes, done, sorted. That's how you recap an Atari ST power supply, or more specifically, the Matsumi power supply. So, done, sorted, happy. Please like and subscribe. Please follow me on social media. Please, if you want to be a Patreon, like Andy is, I will do little special favours for my patrons. That's fine. It's all. You guys pay me to help me carry on with the channel, so why wouldn't I do you a little favour like this? It's fine. If you haven't got the skills to do this, I understand. We all start somewhere, but it's fun to do, to be honest, stuff like this. But with that in mind, thanks for watching. If you want to be a Patreon, links down below. Help out as much as you can, donation. It all helps me keep the channel going. Even a thumbs up, even a comment, a positive comment. If you want to do a negative comment, then yeah, fine, whatever floats your boat, really. But that's fine, really. Yeah, again, thanks a lot for watching. Bye for now.